This is OzCat Radio, 89.5 FM, KZCT, Vallejo.
Vallejo, California. Sports fans worldwide. It's time for the Fitz Blitz on 89.5 FM, KZCT, Vallejo. This week, it is the return of the Fitz Blitz. We're back. Happy 2020. Happy New Year. It's the first show of the calendar year here on the Fitz Blitz. I'm back in the country. Stephen Babb's back in studio.
Back in studio.
Chris Zavaglia as well, and even longer.
Yes.
Return to the Fitz Blitz.
It's been a while, man, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
This week, well, we're going to talk NFL playoffs, of course, as the Niners know their opponent for next week. The NFC West champ Niners. We'll talk about that. Talk about the end of an era of the Oakland Raiders. Talk hyper-local sports scene as well, of course. A little Pacific Association, a little Cal Maritime. Then we'll look ahead at the playoff picture on what's coming up. Take a break after that, and then I'm going to have a special little one-on-one monologue with everybody talking about minor league baseball. All that and more coming up on the Blitz. Let's do this. Good afternoon, Vallejo. Timmy Fitz bringing you the Blitz, along with Stephen Babb and Chris Zavaglia. Be sure to hit me up on Twitter, at TimmyFitz76. Go to thefitzblitz.com for archive segments of shows. And, of course, now, the Tim Fitzgerald YouTube. Find me out there, because that's where these episodes will live now. Back to the YouTube. Seems appropriate with the video form we're in right now to go with. Stephen, hit him up with the Twitter handle.
That is Babb Sports, BABBSPORTS. You can also find me on YouTube, which I'm slowly starting to revamp that channel. Just search Stephen Babb. And Mr. Z, do you have Twitter?
I do.
He returned. He's back.
Yep, I returned. You can follow me at Chris Zavaglia, Zabaglia. Find me on there.
I'm glad you didn't do anything involving A-Rod and Derek Jeter.
Yes, I know. Yeah, my email's already associated with them, but yeah, I had to keep it simple, professional.
Exactly. Growing up out of the fan.
Yes.
Chrissy Pinstripes would be a good Twitter.
Oh, yes. Yes. Sometimes you put the fan paraphernalia away.
Sometimes. But sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't.
Well, Happy New Year, guys. It's great to see both of you, first of all.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Welcome back stateside.
Thank you. I've come back from Sicily as an espresso guy. Yeah,
you told me that earlier. Big fan. Big fan.
So, speaking of, I have an espresso machine.
Oh, okay.
And it's like Keurig on steroids.
Oh, yeah.
And the coffee is phenomenal. So if you're finding yourself, you can find good deals on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check into that. I kind of like the aspect of going out for it. I think I got used to that.
Yes.
Yeah, going to the trattoria, have your dolce with it. That guy.
Spice on it.
Yeah.
Little molto bene espresso.
So I went to Java Jack's, of course.
Yeah.
That's how it works. So come back. Really, just adjusting to American food has been the tough part.
Really?
It has. It just,
Biggest one?
you know, where it is it's in the average everyday quick fast food you can get is the difference. Like
Yeah.
you find a nice sit down meal, it'll be cheaper in Sicily. Get that same quality, get that same grade, but you can't stop at a gas station in the United States. You get a mozzarella, eggplant, panini, some olive bread, maybe a glass of wine.
It's
It's
the quality. It's the
that,
quality
you know,
of the quality of the little pieces here and there
Yeah.
that you don't get here, especially at the price point.
it's a preservative-free
Mhm.
type of world that just everything's more fresh. You notice
Mhm.
that difference. You notice that and getting used to the driving again, where it's organized chaos over there, and here I just have to wait. Wait for this lady to get through the light any minute now. Versus, you take it to them in Sicily if you're not going. Hey, too bad. It's the most friendly people you've ever seen in a huge rush before. That's how that kind of defines Sicily.
That's a good way to
yes.
put it.
How you doing, graduate?
Good.
Congratulations.
It feels like 1,000 pounds or a couple tons lifted off my shoulders, but yeah, finally.
Now a Sac State graduate.
Sac State alum officially. I was worried about a couple classes, but ended up being over dramatic with those. And got the good grades that I was hoping for, and all said and done now. Yeah.
Yes.
And what's your degree in?
Communications.
Very, very
Yes.
nice.
Yes.
For those out there that don't know, Chris and I actually went through the same program at Solano College.
Yep.
Shout out Greg Poff. He's in Fiji and basically told me he was not going to listen to the show that we're doing today. But Brian Nelson's out there listening to us, so
Okay.
shout out Brian and
Yes,
the
Brian, if you're
program.
listening.
Yeah.
So we're gonna send this to Pop directly then.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That's what we're gonna do. Yes. Hey, you have to show off your new cut.
Oh.
On the video.
New year, new you already.
Yeah, new year, new me. I had a full beard, curls in the back, and sometimes you just need a little bit of a change.
Mhm.
And 2020, vision is clear.
I do that at the end of every school year now at Cal Maritime.
Okay.
So had the clean. It's somewhere. I'm with you. I used to do that at the beginning of Admiral seasons too. First day of spring training, voop, off it went, and just sort of let it grow as the summer went on. I'm like that too. Just some sort of add a calendar mark, new season, clean thing. I do.
Yeah, and it was one of those. I looked like I was on the run from the law for a while. People didn't recognize me. They hadn't seen me in a while, but I hadn't had a haircut in 6 months.
Oh,
And I just
okay.
let the beard go, and I just. It was one of those things. I was sitting there New Year's Eve, didn't really have a whole lot of plans, nothing really going on for the evening, and I was
Sure.
sitting there. I was like, I think it's time. And so I did it myself. I grabbed the clippers, and
Oh, yeah.
half hour later, and
Wow.
yeah,
That's how you do it.
absolutely.
I tend to do the buzz cut myself too. When it's short, I could do my own haircut. Shout out to keel hauler forward Xavier Lucero doing his own haircut recently too.
Ah.
So I was like, see, I've done it all the time. It's not that strange. Speaking of Xavier Lucero, let's start hyper local, then we'll work our way to the NFL. Lucero, another big game. Keel haulers their first loss in conference play in that conference opener, losing to Simpson University. 84-74, really just had trouble slowing down the Simpson Red Hawk offense. I went up to Redding, California with the team, made that trip. The women got a W, though. That's exciting to see the women start conference play with the victory at Simpson, 60-56. So a tale of two different nights there for Cal Maritime. It kind of flipped of how the trend had been. It had been this time it's the women getting the win, the men a loss. Just had trouble slowing down that Red Hawk offense, and in the second half, even when it seemed like the keel haulers did close out well defensively, Simpson was hitting their shots. Anyway, how much of that did you get to see, Chris, or were you just tracking along? How much did you get to see of
I
Saturday?
saw a little bit.
Okay.
I was unfortunately working that night on my other job, but I was able to see some of the clips you posted and keep up with that.
Gotcha.
Logged on to the game for a little bit as
Yeah.
much as I could, but yeah, just one of those things where they're heading into that one 12-2.
Yeah.
You feel good about it. You're heading into conference play. All the emotions, everything's hyped up. Against a conference rival like that, and then lose by 10.
Yeah.
And big thing for me was seeing Borja goose egg on the board, and that's
Yeah.
been one of the guys, him and Lucero down low, with the rebounds, with the points. Boyle's
Yeah.
going in, averaging around 10. He can't even put up, a bucket.
Yeah.
So it's kind of frustrating on that part, not getting that contributing factor
Yeah.
right there with him.
Because they tend to need a big three. Hauser,
Exactly.
Lucero,
And then someone
a
else.
third, and
Mhm.
it's usually been Moron.
Exactly. Luckily, Caden Young provided some points off the bench with 8 points, along with Nwoko. Essien's been a big spot for them.
Yeah.
The sophomore out of Enomonda High School. Getting the start with Holtz, but Holtz is another guy that's been a major loss for them, and then you
still
kind
a
of see it.
concussion issue, yeah.
Yep, and you wonder if that plays a factor here, maybe.
Maybe.
But
yeah.
just a frustrating loss, but looking to bounce back this week against Antelope Valley.
Yeah, lost the conference opener at home against Simpson last year. Shook it off. We're still in it till the last day of last season. Had a 7-game win streak at one point. So they're back in action Thursday at home at Cal Maritime. That's a big game. We got a Vallejo Chamber of Commerce social sort of mixer happening at the same time with that doubleheader. Antelope Valley in town, last year's conference champs on the women's and the men's side. So a couple of big tilts early Thursday at Cal Maritime again. 5 and 7:30 tip-offs, taking on the University of Antelope Valley Pioneers, the champs last year. The women's team, that's a nice little confidence boost. 3 players in double figures there. You had Masulit, Elalio, and also Cammie Taylor in double figures. V. Horn, a big game with the steals defensively. She's made a big difference since coming back. The steals, running the point. She's a rebounding type of guard as well. So just a nice confidence boost for them. I think that maybe relocks the women's team in focus-wise to thinking, okay, let's try to get one of those spots in the conference tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they played a good game, and as we talked about earlier, they struggled in the third quarter coming out of the half, but happened to bounce back, and they finished shooting as a team from beyond the arc at 42%. And that's really the key factor into this one. They won by 4.
Yeah.
They didn't hit those threes like they haven't been for a good chunk of the season.
Yeah.
It would have been a tough loss, but they came out on the opposite side of things, picked up the win on the road, especially. Now come back home, face a tough opponent in the 15th ranked, University of Antelope Valley.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough one, but they played a couple ranked teams already. Menlo hung in there through a half, and then Oregon Tech only lost by 3. That was a game winner with 9 seconds left. So they've shown some fight all year, and if they could bring what they did this last game into this one, it could be a good game. Be a good game.
So that's Thursday coming up at Cal Maritime. Again, 5 and 7:30. Got the small gym with food there for chamber members, and you can come promote your business at this game. Any chamber member, new or old, you got some sort of giveaway you want to bring, something to dangle to get the cadets to come through your door. That's one thing we can really offer you is a steady stream of clients in the Cal Maritime Cadets, whether it be as a business while they're still cadets, while they're still students in town, or when they get that degree and are then looking to purchase homes and cars and things like that after getting their Cal Maritime degree, which often leads to lucrative employment afterwards.
Absolutely.
Yes, going to Cal Maritime.
I just want to send a big shout out to Cal Maritime. I had the opportunity, thank you, Tim, to go and PA my first game for the Keel Haulers a little over a week ago. And the gym, everything there, it's top notch. It's beautiful. It's a great place to go and sit and watch some action. And the Keel Haulers bring it on the court.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get back out and check out some more games.
We'll definitely have you out again, absolutely. The other hyper-local Vallejo thing I wanted to talk about is the Pacific Association of Professional Baseball Clubs. Recently, Martinez has announced that they're coming back into a league. December 18th, the Martinez City Council unanimously approved a licensing agreement to field a new baseball team in the Pecos League. The team is tentatively called the Martinez Mackerel, but it was
Sorry.
According to Nate Guttrell, good friend of ours, Nate Guttrell said, don't get too attached to that name, as a majority of city council members said they're not big fans of it, and it'll be changed in the new year, sometime shortly here. And so we're waiting to see how this shakes out. City officials calling it a one-year experiment, the council approved a contract with the Pecos that calls for the team to play 32 home games at the same field that was used by the Martinez Clippers, the Joe DiMaggio complex over there. Pecos, has a couple teams in Bakersfield and Monterey now in California. They're primarily in Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona a lot. An age requirement of ages 22 to 25. So they're going to separate from the Pacific Association, and former commissioner is now commissioner again in the Pacific Association in Jonathan Stone. When I was assistant commissioner / information director of the Pacific Association, that's who I was working for, was Commissioner Stone. So he's back in the mix, so suddenly I'm a consultant again for the league a little bit. With him back in,
leave from it, huh?
they pull me back in.
It's like the mafia.
Here's the line that ticked off Stone and I both from the owner, Andrew Dunn, who is an owner of several Pecos teams. So you get the feeling this was always in the back of his head to begin with. Regardless of what he said about being in the PAC Association before, that made Stone, other owners in the league, think they were coming back to the Pacific Association. Dunn, with his ownership and several other Pecos teams, it makes you question what his motives were beginning just right away. He said, "I didn't think the Pacific Association was a good idea due to the instability of the teams in the league." Okay. Pecos League, talking about instability in the Pacific Association, is definitely a rat calling a possum an ugly long-nosed SOB, okay? Stone responded by saying, somehow we're unstable. In 9 years, there have been 11 teams in the Pecos League that have failed. We don't have anywhere near a track record like that, Stone told the council. You have been to Martinez to some of the Clippers games, or no? No, okay. I hadn't either. You hadn't either.
No.
So I didn't do any games there while broadcasting in 2018. You guys really got on board last year in 19 fully. So we didn't have the experience of that bandbox that it was, distorting the numbers in the Pacific Association. I think they're going to be a perfect fit in the Pecos with that little ballpark going out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
your thoughts on this, guys?
And it's just interesting. I mean, okay, independent baseball, me getting my feet wet with the Pacific Association last year and calling games for the Admirals and even doing some PA work and just being around the team and seeing things. To have a team in Martinez have to travel to New Mexico, I mean, to me, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's like okay, I'm gonna go to high school in Sacramento and I live in San Jose.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are just my thoughts.
That was one of the big things for me too. Was seeing they were in the Pecos one. I was like, okay, and I saw the comment too about the instability, and it kind of made me. I was like, okay, what? Okay, okay. That's all my thoughts are. But then the second thing was exactly what Steven said. Just the fact that they got to travel out of state and all those extra expenses when they could have stayed locally. Now they got to worry about flights and or even buses or whatever it is they're using as transportation. Now that's an extra expense for them, and as a first-year startup team to see where it's at, that's not necessarily putting yourself in a position for success. So it'll be real interesting how they do in the Pecos League, and if it's a bust, then so be it. I guess that's the way it is.
I get the feeling the Pecos wants the Pacific Association to fail and to take over whatever remnants it wants out of it. Is my theory.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being a possibility. Me being inexperienced with player movement, do you think the Martinez team could see players defect out into the Pacific League or Pacific Association because of travel and just kind of being like, why am I doing this? I'm spending all my time on the road, literally on the road, not being as prepared as I could be for games.
The Pacific Association has worked its way above the Pecos in the independent pecking order. It's the big four. You got the Can-Am, the Atlantic, Frontier, and American Association. It's kind of the big four of independent ball for now. And then the Pacific Association immediately after that. Then the Pecos below the Pacific Association. Players come up from the Pecos to the Pacific Association. That's a promotion for them. It has been in the past. So they're kind of all plucking from the same pool to begin with. But there is a bit of a pecking order in the past whether it be fiscally, competition-wise, stability, the lack of travel that has led to the Pacific Association being that notch higher than the Pecos.
I mean, I complained about having to go to Sonoma and San Rafael.
And you know what? Martinez, a bit of an island itself.
Yeah.
In some ways, it's out there. It doesn't quite fit with some of the others in this commuter bubble. So I'm a little surprised by that. It's really a game of chicken now between these two leagues, is who's going to control Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a stare down. There's definitely a little contentiousness between the two. I try to take a realistic approach to it. There seems to be some logic to the Pecos trying to take over what they want out of the Pacific Association, which I would guess would be San Rafael and Sonoma due to the facilities.
Yeah.
I don't know that they would take Vallejo unless the facility then changed. Say if in the next season or two there is a new facility on Mare Island or something, well, then the other two, San Rafael's old stadium or Sonoma's converted high school field, become the less desirable, to where maybe it's the Admirals that are the survivor out of that. So a lot is going to change in the next 365 days. That level, on the affiliation level of baseball, like I'll talk about in the third part on the Fitz Blitz here today. Let's take a quick break and come back talking NFL football right after this. Here on 89.5 FM, KZCT, Ozcat Radio in Vallejo.